I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
Is this the beginning of the end for Blake Lively's reign in Hollywood? For years, she captivated audiences with her radiant smile, effortless style, and seemingly down-to-earth persona. But now, that carefully constructed image is teetering on the precipice of collapse. What was once a spotless reputation is now riddled with inconsistencies between her claims and tangible evidence, creating a jarring dissonance that has left the public reeling. A series of allegations and contradictions surrounding the film It Ends With Us have left many scratching their heads, wondering, is this a massive miscalculation by a star accustomed to getting her way, a desperate attempt to salvage her reputation amidst a failing project? Or is there a genuine grievance buried beneath the surface, a legitimate claim that has been obscured by a series of unfortunate and self-inflicted missteps? The answer, it seems, will be decided not only in the courtroom, where legal battles will unfold, but also in the unforgiving court of public opinion, where perceptions can shift in an instant and a career can be made or broken.
It's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have 2 other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
Blake Lively's rise to stardom was nothing short of meteoric. From her breakout role as Serena van der Woodsen in the hit series Gossip Girl, she quickly established herself as a fashion icon, a darling of the paparazzi, and a sought-after leading lady. She graced the covers of countless magazines, landing endorsement deals with luxury brands, and seemingly effortlessly transitioning from television to the big screen. Her marriage to Ryan Reynolds only amplified her celebrity status, creating a Hollywood power couple that embodied charm, wit, and success. She cultivated an image of a relatable yet glamorous star, a rare combination that endeared her to millions. She seemed to effortlessly juggle family life and a successful career, all while maintaining a seemingly genuine and approachable demeanor. But even as she graced magazine covers and charmed talk show hosts, some subtle cracks were starting to appear in the carefully constructed facade. These weren't glaring flaws, but rather fleeting moments of unease, subtle shifts in her demeanor that hinted at something more complex beneath the surface. Long before the It Ends With Us controversy erupted, observant fans began noticing subtle shifts in her demeanor during interviews, moments where the polished persona seemed to slip, revealing a more guarded or self-absorbed individual. Perhaps it was a fleeting expression of impatience, a dismissive gesture towards a co-star, or a tendency to steer the conversation back to herself. These instances, often brushed aside as mere quirks or accidental missteps, now take on a different light under the harsh glare of recent events, prompting a re-evaluation of her carefully crafted public image. This discrepancy between carefully crafted perception and emerging reality is central to understanding the complex unraveling of Blake Lively's public image.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
At the heart of this controversy lies the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us, a project that many believed had the potential to be a major success. The source material, a beloved novel known for its emotionally charged themes, carried immense expectations from its devoted fan base, adding considerable pressure on the production to deliver a faithful and compelling adaptation. The story explores complex themes of love, abuse, and redemption, requiring a delicate and nuanced approach to bring it to the screen. At the center of the storm are Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, who not only starred in the film, portraying the central characters of Lily Bloom and Ryle Kincaid respectively, but also served as its director. From the outset, tensions seemed to simmer beneath the surface, fueled by creative differences, clashing personalities, and perhaps a power imbalance that would ultimately contribute to the unraveling of the entire project. In the early stages, Blake painted Justin Justin as a manipulative figure, suggesting that he orchestrated negative coverage to undermine her, attempting to shift the blame for the film's struggles onto her co-star and director. She hinted at power plays and rivalries, familiar themes in the often cutthroat world of Hollywood, implying that she was a victim of a calculated campaign to tarnish her reputation. But soon, evidence began to shift the narrative, revealing a more complex and nuanced picture than the one Blake had initially presented.
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
The narrative began to unravel when text messages, behind-the-scenes audio recordings, and first-hand testimonies began to surface, providing a glimpse into the inner workings of the It Ends With Us production. These fragments of truth painted a drastically different picture than the one Blake had initially presented, exposing a web of conflicting accounts, questionable motivations, and potential misrepresentations. The New York Times published an article featuring text exchanges seemingly designed to cast Justin in a negative light, portraying him as controlling and manipulative. However, keen-eyed observers quickly pointed out discrepancies in the published exchanges, edited emojis, truncated lines, and entire conversations rearranged to suit a particular narrative. This raised serious questions about the integrity of the reporting and the intentions behind the selective presentation of information. Justin's legal team promptly called out these manipulations, raising serious questions about authenticity and whether Blake was intentionally painting an incomplete or even misleading picture. Was this a deliberate attempt to sway public opinion, or simply a case of misinterpretation and selective memory? Then came the claim about Jimmy Heath. Heath was accused by Blake of presenting her with borderline inappropriate footage under the pretense of discussing a scene. The truth, according to various sources, was that the footage showed Jaime's wife giving birth intended as a reference for an authentic labor depiction in the movie. People who saw the footage described it as intimate and artistic, nothing like the graphic content Blake had alleged. Suddenly, the question on everyone's mind was whether she was over-dramatizing ordinary, if perhaps somewhat personal creative discussions. As these contradictions surfaced, even more troubling claims began to emerge, further complicating the already convoluted narrative.
You know, here's this name of this writer that cut through. That was interesting to me because, like, you know, in older generations, you know, everybody was listening to the same radio shows, you know.
As the dust settled, several specific claims came under intense scrutiny, each riddled with contradictions and inconsistencies. These conflicting accounts painted a perplexing picture, leaving many to question the true nature of the events that transpired behind the scenes and the motivations of those involved. The discrepancies between Blake's allegations and the available evidence raised doubts about the veracity of her claims, prompting a deeper investigation into the circumstances surrounding the It Ends With Us production. First, Blake alleged Justin had commented on her postpartum body in a disrespectful way, suggesting that he was overly critical of her appearance and insensitive to the challenges of motherhood. However, messages surfaced showing him repeatedly offering encouragement and support, praising her strength and resilience, hardly the behavior of someone fixated on criticizing her appearance. The context, as revealed by others, indicated that Justin deals with chronic back pain and was set to perform a physical scene where he would have to lift Blake, knowing her approximate weight was reportedly necessary to prevent any risk of injury, ensuring her safety and preventing further strain on his back. Another point of contention was the alleged lack of an intimacy coordinator, a professional trained to ensure the safety and comfort of actors during intimate scenes. Blake argued that Justin pushed intimate interactions on her without proper oversight, raising alarms about workplace boundaries in the post-Me Too era and suggesting that she felt vulnerable and unprotected on set. Yet, previous interviews with Blake, given before the legal action, showed her discussing the production's existing coordinator and even mentioning that she jokingly took on part of that role herself by contributing ideas for steamy scenes, raising questions about the sincerity of her claims and the potential for ulterior motives. Then there's the issue of Blake's alleged attempts to overshadow Justin's directorial authority. It's worth noting that Justin was not only a central actor in the film, but also responsible for writing, directing, and guiding the project from its earliest stages, a significant undertaking that required immense dedication and creative vision. Leaked notes from the producers indicated Blake was demanding Final Cut, wanting access to all daily footage, and even proposing her own creative vision, which would have sidestepped Justin's role, effectively usurping his authority and undermining his artistic control over the project. It begs the question, so was this a case of genuine miscommunication or something more calculated? Was there a power struggle at play, a clash of egos that spiraled out of control, or were Blake's intentions simply misunderstood, her actions misinterpreted as attempts to undermine Justin rather than contribute to the film's success?
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before, and I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know, I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial just like you and affect people and touch people, and I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's gonna be special, and you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm gonna stop rambling, because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that, and I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done cutting myself off. Good night.
The fallout from this controversy has been swift and far-reaching, sending shockwaves through Hollywood and prompting a re-evaluation of Blake Lively's standing in the industry. Hollywood executives are now watching this unfolding drama with intense interest, carefully assessing the potential impact on their own projects and investments. Multiple insiders confirmed that studios once eager to cast Blake in upcoming projects are adopting a wait-and-see approach, hesitant to commit to collaborations that could be tarnished by further damaging information. The uncertainty surrounding her reputation has created a cloud of doubt, making it difficult for studios to justify the risk of associating with a star whose image has been so severely compromised. After all, her brand image rested heavily on the notion that she was professional, amiable, and relatable, a bankable star whose presence guaranteed both box office success and positive buzz. That image, however, is now under siege from a flood of contradictory accounts and damaging allegations, casting a long shadow over her future prospects. Conversely, Justin Baldoni, while undoubtedly stressed by the ordeal, finds more people tuned into his perspective, granting him an unexpected wave of sympathy and support. He has subtly positioned himself as a victim of circumstance, emphasizing his commitment to truth and transparency, and garnering public approval for his perceived resilience in the face of adversity. Even more, Megyn Kelly has vowed to ensure all relevant documents and recordings are made public, effectively neutralizing any attempts to keep them under wraps, and promising to shed further light on the complex events surrounding the "It Ends With Us" controversy. The legal battles continue to grind forward in court, but the court of public opinion moves much faster, shaping perceptions and influencing decisions long before a judge renders a verdict.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm grateful.
Talking like this, me into my phone at 2 in the morning, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being hardworking and having a vision and not settling.
Adding fuel to the fire and further complicating the situation is Blake's request for a gag order, a legal measure designed to limit public discussion of the case and prevent the dissemination of potentially damaging information. While gag orders are sometimes necessary to protect the integrity of legal proceedings, they can also be perceived as attempts to suppress free speech and shield individuals from public scrutiny. Critics argue that this move only reinforces the impression she's operating in damage control mode, seeking to prevent further revelations from seeping into the public consciousness and further eroding her already tarnished reputation. If what she says is indeed truthful and verifiable, why push to limit public access to the conversation? Why attempt to silence those who may have valuable insights or evidence to contribute to the narrative? Many interpret this as a sign of weakness, suggesting she has something to hide, a secret she desperately wants to keep from the public eye. This perceived attempt to control the narrative has further eroded public trust, fueling speculation and conjecture, and leading to even more intense scrutiny of her actions. Fans who once championed her are now hanging back, waiting to see how events progress before deciding whether to continue their support, their loyalty wavering in the face of mounting evidence and conflicting narratives. Fellow entertainers similarly appear cautious about openly picking a side until more conclusive details come to light, wary of associating themselves with a controversy that could potentially damage their own careers. It's all come down to a single point, a pivotal moment that will likely determine the trajectory of Blake Lively's career for years to come.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm grateful for.
And you had a key part in bringing it to the big screen. How did this all come to be?
Well, in 2019, I read the book. I was sent the book by my book agent and friend at the time, and I was looking for films that could inspire, that were commercially viable, but also could really like reach in and touch somebody's heart.
Beyond the immediate accusations and counter-accusations, it's crucial to delve deeper into the possible underlying motivations driving Blake Lively's actions. What was she really trying to achieve? Was it simply a matter of self-preservation, an attempt to deflect blame from a project that was already perceived as failing? Or was there a more strategic game at play, a calculated effort to reshape the narrative and solidify her position within the industry? Perhaps she felt that her creative vision for It Ends With Us was being stifled, that her contributions were being undervalued or ignored. In a fiercely competitive environment like Hollywood, where power dynamics can shift rapidly, it's not uncommon for individuals to resort to aggressive tactics to assert themselves and protect their interests. It's possible that Blake saw Justin as an obstacle to her own ambitions, a threat to her carefully cultivated image as a creative force. It's also worth considering the pressures she faced as a prominent actress, juggling a demanding career with the responsibilities of motherhood. Perhaps the stress and exhaustion took a toll on her judgment, leading her to make decisions that she later regretted. The question then becomes, was this more than just misjudgment?
And find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together, it's unbelievable. Talk about energy and just to force all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are.
In the age of social media, celebrity controversies unfold in real time, with every tweet, post, and comment contributing to the swirling vortex of public opinion. The Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni saga is no exception. Social media platforms have become battlegrounds for competing narratives, with fans and detractors alike weighing in on the unfolding drama, often with little regard for facts or nuance. The rapid dissemination of information, both accurate and inaccurate, has created a chaotic and often toxic environment. The echo chambers of social media can amplify biases and prejudices, making it difficult for balanced perspectives to emerge. The viral nature of online content means that even minor missteps can be blown out of proportion, leading to swift and often merciless condemnation. Blake Lively's actions have been dissected, analyzed, and scrutinized by millions of users around the world, with countless memes, videos, and articles dedicated to the controversy. This constant barrage of attention has undoubtedly added to the pressure she faces, making it even more difficult for her to navigate the complex and ever-shifting landscape of public opinion. Social media has created an environment where the court of opinion is only a comment away from the most impactful of celebrities.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow, there's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really...
Regardless of the legal outcome of the "It Ends With Us" controversy, the long-term consequences for Blake Lively's career are likely to be significant. The damage to her reputation has already been substantial, and it remains to be seen whether she can fully recover. Will studios be willing to take a chance on her in future projects? Will audiences be able to forgive her for her alleged missteps? Will she ever be able to regain the trust and admiration she once enjoyed? The road ahead will undoubtedly be challenging, requiring her to demonstrate humility, accountability, and a genuine commitment to change. She may need to seek professional guidance to repair her image and rebuild her relationships within the industry. She may also need to reevaluate her priorities and consider whether the relentless pursuit of fame and success is truly worth the personal cost. The world has turned its eyes to her. The choices she will now make may be the most important to her entire career. Her words will be remembered forever. What choices will she now make?
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
Amidst the swirling accusations and conflicting narratives, it's worth considering whether there is any room left for an alternative explanation, a perspective that has been overlooked or suppressed in the rush to judgment. Could there be truths in Blake's claims that simply haven't emerged yet because of the overshadowing drama, hidden details that could shed new light on the events surrounding It Ends With Us? Perhaps there are mitigating circumstances that have not been adequately explored, factors that could provide a more nuanced understanding of her actions and motivations. Hollywood is notorious for backstage politics and power dynamics, a complex and often cutthroat environment where alliances shift and agendas collide. It's not inconceivable that real grievances might have been present, even if they've been distorted or exaggerated in the heat of the moment. Perhaps Blake felt genuinely wronged or marginalized, leading her to react in a way that ultimately backfired, damaging her own reputation in the process. Maybe she was the victim of manipulation or misinformation, misled by those around her and driven to act on incomplete or inaccurate information. However, her hyperbolic descriptions, coupled with tangible evidence refuting many of her claims, make it increasingly difficult for neutral observers to give her the benefit of the doubt. The backstage politics in Hollywood are notoriously complex and murky, making it challenging to discern the truth from the carefully crafted narratives that often often dominate the industry. Her approach has mostly spotlighted apparent inconsistencies. But will this truth ever come to light, or will it remain buried beneath layers of accusation and counter-accusation, forever shrouded in mystery and speculation?